My uncle was the most gifted person in my family. A single mistake, a forbidden love, and our conservative society destroyed him. He's been in a mental asylum for 12 years now. I just want to tell a story because no one else will, and I don't want him to be forgotten. My grandparents had 3 kids, my dad, my aunt, and my uncle, the youngest of 3 and most cherished one. My uncle was the only one who was put into a good private school at that time, which was a huge deal at that time, 1980s. He was brilliant, quiet, kind, and genuinely cared about people. He was my dad's favorite and the one everyone thought would change the family's future. When he was about to finish high school, he panicked. He felt underprepared and didn't sit for one exam paper. Because of that one absence, he failed the entire exam. When results came out, he had scored exceptionally well in the papers he did right. If he had attempted the last one, he would have easily topped the district and gotten into any top medical or engineering college. That regret broke him. Watching his friends move ahead ate him alive. He stopped sleeping. He was put on antidepressants. This was decades ago, when mental health was taboo. Still, he somehow completed a degree and became a senior professor at an institute. And that's when he met her, the woman he loved. She was from another community. She was even ready to leave her family for him. But my family refused. My grandmother wanted a big dowry and didn't want an intercaste marriage. My uncle, being soft-hearted and afraid of consequences, didn't elope. He let her go. She was married off to someone else. That destroyed him far more than the exam ever did. He spiraled. His mind just broke. He started having violent outbursts. He would scream at my grandparents and sometimes even physically hurt them, things he never would have done if he had control over himself. He had to be admitted to a mental hospital. Medication helped a little, but over the time he lost his personality. When he was home, he behaved unpredictably. He would stare at women thinking they were her. He followed a cousin back from school once. He even took me from my school one day without telling my parents. Then things got darker. My grandmother once caught him trying something suspicious in the kitchen. Later we got to know that he was trying to blow up the house with all of us inside and blame it on woman he loved, because by this time he believed she is responsible for his current state and everything was her fault. Another night during an episode he locked all of us in a room and held a knife to my sister's neck. Relatives rushed in time to stop him. He had to be tied to a pillar and taken away by the police. After that he was admitted to a mental asylum again. He's been there for 12 years now. Sometimes he calls my grandmother and my dad. He talks normally for a few minutes and then says, "Take me home. I won't do anything again." It breaks my heart every time. But we can't. It isn't safe for anyone, including him. I think about him a lot. He had so much potential, academically gifted, kind, sensitive. Everyone believed he could have become a doctor or something significant. But one exam, one love story, one conservative family decision, all of it collided and ruined him. I just needed to put his story somewhere so he isn't forgotten. He is still alive in that asylum. The truth is he will probably die in that mental asylum. And the world will never know he was once the brightest, kindest person. For me, that slow fading away, that life lived in silence and walls, is worse than death. Death feels final. But this feels like he's been dying for decades, piece by piece. Update. My boyfriend is avoiding me because his mom doesn't like him giving me attention. I am 25F, dating a guy 28M for more than 2 years now. We started with casual dating and both did not want anything serious, but we have stuck together and we now talk about marriage, but we both have prioritized our career for now. His family is aware about our relationship, but my family is like super strict, so I plan to tell them when we both will be financially more stable and ready to marry. I am living alone ever since my roommate moved to another city, and even though I am okay being alone, it sometimes makes me anxious and lonely. I shared this with him and he was being sweet and trying to check up on me and everything, but from last 1 week he is acting weird. I thought it's just my PMS and mood swings. I even posted about this in other Reddit thread and everyone thought I was overreacting, which I agreed, and they even advised me to just communicate with him, so took the advice. So, as many of you advised, I finally expressed my feelings and directly asked him what was wrong. He told me there's a lot going on at home right now, and then he said something that really shocked me. I cannot keep calling you and talking to you, and in fact, you made sure that talking to you is going to create a big problem here. I was taken aback and asked what he meant. That's when he brought up an incident from a month ago when I was visiting him. For context, he lost his dad a few months ago, and he and his mom live alone. They would sometimes ask me to come over just to give them company, because they were grieving and the house felt empty. My boyfriend works from home and barely has friends, just one very close friend who's married with a kid. So whenever he wants boys' time, he visits that friend, which is understandable. But when I visited them, his mom complained that he gives his friend too much importance and doesn't spend enough time with her. In reality, after his dad passed, he has hardly been going out. He takes her for movies and dinners regularly. Maybe once a week he meets his friend. That's all. When I was there, he assumed that since I was at their place, his mom had company, so he could go meet his friend for a bit, a win-win. But his mom didn't see it that way. She created a huge scene, blaming his friend, calling him a bad influence, all sorts of things. I tried reasoning, but because of the language barrier, I couldn't really express myself. The next day, to make up for everything, he planned a movie outing with his mom and me. Usually I sit in front with him while he drives, but that day his mom said she wanted the front seat because of a leg ache. I obviously said okay. He picked a movie in his language but made sure there would be subtitles for me. But when it started, there were none. He checked with the manager, they apologized and offered the next show with subtitles. But it was a 3-hour movie and his mom is in her early 60s with strict meal/sleep timings, so I told him it's fine, I'll just watch without subtitles. He felt bad, so he said we'd do a movie night at home so he could make it up to me and also finally talk because he had a lot to vent but we weren't getting any alone time. We couldn't go out leaving his mom behind because she'd get offended. He went to get popcorn and also bought some alcohol. I knew it might cause problems, but he said, I'm an adult who's been going through a lot. I deserve some chill time. I told him okay, but I wouldn't drink. So he poured himself a small drink, we started the movie, and he also opened up about everything he's been dealing with since his dad passed away. His mom usually sleeps early, so we assumed she was asleep. But suddenly she came into the room, told us to turn off the TV and sleep, and then saw the glass in his hand. She began cursing me, accusing me of encouraging him to drink. I didn't respond because I knew she was grieving too. Next morning, he suggested we go out for breakfast, and he ordered something for her too. Honestly, I was scared to be left alone with her because I knew she'd blame me again for the drink incident. Before leaving, we told her I'd return to my place that night because clearly she had an issue with me. We went out, but she kept calling him non-stop and started threatening to leave the house. We panicked and went back after 30 to 40 minutes. She wasn't home. He told me to take my things, so I packed up. I booked a hotel for the day and a return ticket for the night. We checked in, and meanwhile he was tracking her. She eventually came back and kept demanding he come home immediately, but he said he needed some space and would return at night. I opened my laptop to finish some work and found scratches on it. I assumed it was my own clumsiness. But later I saw my makeup bag. Everything inside was ruined. My compact, eyeshadow, even my lipsticks were broken. I showed him, and without a second thought he said, "It's her." Then he told me about things she had done earlier, breaking his brother-in-law's office laptop, hiding their passport once before an international trip. I was honestly shocked. I never imagined she was capable of that. A few days later, she texted me an apology. I said it was fine and let it go. About 15 days later, his sister and brother-in-law visited and we all went on a trip. On the way back, his mom wasn't feeling well, so we stopped. I happened to be alone with his brother-in-law for a moment and he told me, I have some advice. You should start ignoring these things. Don't let it get to you. I've been dealing with this for 12 years. I thought he meant his mom sometimes creates drama for attention, because moments before that she complained no one was including her in the discussion, even though she just couldn't relate to the topic we were talking about. Then suddenly she fell sick. So his comment made sense. I told him about the makeup incident and he told me about the passport one, and I said, yes, he told me. Later, I told my boyfriend about this conversation, because I tell him everything, and he told his sister. She took it badly, saying her mother was in pain and how could her husband say she was seeking attention. Another round of drama. Fast forward a month, his mom is going on a 3-month vacation, and she still creates a scene if she catches him talking to me. That's why he isn't even saying goodnight properly because she gets upset the moment she sees he's talking to me. And honestly, I don't know what to do anymore. Note: this might seem like an AI, but as English is not my first language and there was a lot to talk about, so I edited using AI so it's readable and more understandable.
Relevant comment. Original device 2063. The part that stands out is that he immediately framed talking to you as a problem because his mom doesn't like it. That's not sustainable. It's understandable he's grieving and trying to keep the peace at home, but completely cutting you off or distancing himself to please her isn't a healthy dynamic. You deserve a partner who can communicate and balance relationships, not someone who withdraws whenever his mom gets upset.